Welcome peeps to Kickstarter Radio 1 and 2.4. I'm your host Lipstickpaddy. This is a new format because I'm a one man on my own, but hell, here we go. Well, Earthborne Rangers second printing is back on crowdfunding, and isn't this a curious title indeed? Now, when it was first on Kickstarter, they didn't even do shipping to Mexico, which was kind of... But I think a new philosophy going forward is all the great games will come back for a second printing. That's when the time to pledge is. Like, if something's on Kickstarter and it's the first time, number one, it's a risk. Number two, if it's good, it'll get a second printing. Number three, you'll see more reviews. And number four, you will get any kind of problems, like errata being problems and stuff like that. Which this has had an errata problem, big ones, even in the campaign book, which is interesting. But I'm coming in here for second printing, so I don't really care about the errata problems. That's all been fixed, but it just kind of shares this new philosophy I have going forward, where I'm more happy late pledging, or in this case second print pledging, if you like. Now, look at that. It looks fantastic with two of these boards set there. This playmat is from the first Kickstarter, and you can't get this. You really cannot get this. But one of the reasons I turned me off this game is that it was just a card game. But knowing that you can get these boards, it's like, oh my God, it now looks great on the table. It looks fantastic because... One big thing for me, for my board game collection, is it must have a board or it must have some kind of playmat if it's a card game, because the presence on the table is superior than anything else. And I love it because it kind of gets you into the game, immerses you more into the game. That's what I'm fully about. And this is really fantastic. So quick measure, what the hell is this game? It's a card game that's similar to Mansions of Madness is Arkham Horror card series, but you've got no Cthulhu and monsters trying to kick your ass all the time. It's more of a Zelda Breath of the Wild experience, so a more cuddly kind of world and all that good stuff. Lore-wise, you're like 2,000 years in the future, something like that. Projects in the past to try and help the world that sometimes lasted 200 years in development and research and prototype testing on the planet failed and have caused consequential things to happen in the world. Things like that. It's like fusion technology. Fusion technology at the minute in the USA is past its prototype phase, and they're building a big fusion plant now in the north part of America. I can't remember which state it is, but fusion power has been going on for like 50 years of research, and they're finally making the first one. If that becomes a big disaster, that's what Earthborne Rangers is trying to say, that these big projects will end in ruin. Well, nature has whatever we do on the planet, if we disappear, nature will take over, and I think that's kind of the world that we're in, Earthborne Rangers. It's kind of nature's took over, but it's kind of in this post-apocalyptic kind of cuddly world is the best way to describe it, but it looks fabulous. It really does. Now, there is concerns if you play this solo, and for me, it's going to be a fantastic two-player game to play with my son or my friend. We do like playing two-player games every now and again. This would be a great two-player game to get into. So yeah, before I go down, look at this two-player setup, how the playmats blend into each other. It does look fabulous. We'll see if that's a continuation down on the pledge. Now, if you want this Gamefound site to give you more information of the game, it is scantily devoid of information. It really is. You need to go to the Kickstarter campaign to actually see what it's about. But the art style is wonderful. You know, the designers are ex-Fantasy Flight Games. In fact, the lead designer was running Fantasy Flight Games right up until they started disappearing into what the hell are Fantasy Flight doing. Andrew Navarro, I think his name is. The guy who shut down Mansions of Madness. Yeah, I remember him. So yeah, it's got beautiful art across all the cards. A lot of the cards are you're going to be rolling and doing dice checking. Your character will have 4 stats. Certain items in the game you won't be able to use because they're not part of your character build, or your character doesn't have a certain strength or focus, for example, to use the cards, which is nice. Now, the game itself does have a campaign, but it has lots of side stories that you can do. And it's roughly 20 hours, and it has good replayability because you're not going to see all the cards in the deck, as a lot of it is random encounters and random things that are happening. Random loot as well. Now, character development in the game is really, really nice. You kind of pick a class, you kind of pick a race, you kind of pick a aspect to them. So you kind of got I think it's 3 things that are built into your character, which is nice. And as long as the second and third player haven't picked the exact path of your character, then you can really get a 4-player game out of the core pledge without needing anything else. It's pretty cool. Now, the problem is that if 2 people at the table have a crossover with part of their class design, then you will need to pay for more money, and really, would you want to have that? It's like having 2 human mages. No, have a mage. Have one mage who's an elf, and we don't need a second mage. So, yeah, you keep the classes up different. Now, in the base game, there's 4 character... I'm going to call them character classes, and you get an extra one in the expansion. And interestingly to know is that if you back this on Kickstarter, they have still not fulfilled the expansion. It's basically coming on this Gamefound. So the game is still on the second wave. And so they're basically saying that if you're on the first Kickstarter, the expansion will actually come when this Gamefound actually gets pushed. So that's kind of something to know, isn't it? Some kind of weird thing. This map is just a paper map, and it shows you going around. There is an add-on that you can get, which is going to replace this. You can see my super pledge to the right of the things that I'm going to get, and that's things that I recommend. I'll talk about that when we come down to the shop. And now it says this is the all-in. Now the Ranger card doubler here, I've completely taken that out of my pledge because it isn't really needed. That's kind of needed if you've got a crossover with the classes, with the people at the table. I don't think that's going to happen. So you can strip that out of the all-in and it becomes a little bit cheaper. The actual Legacy of the Ancestors, this is going to add about an extra 10-hour campaign, so it will push the box to 30 hours. This is going to be really good as well, and you can potentially jump straight into this if you've already had a character that's maxed or done the campaign in Earthborne Rangers. It is supposed to continue your character forward and all that good stuff. So it is a deck builder. There's going to be new skills coming in and new items coming in with your character and all this good stuff. So, and obviously a new zone that you're going to be going in, which is this underground cave, which all looks fantastic. You get a bit of the cave art here, and you can see that it goes into this kind of almost a sci-fi, where you're going into these places where these huge projects that humans were doing, again, that took maybe over 100 or 200 years to actually get full tested, and it ended up going wrong. Well, you're going inside these places, and that's what makes it so very, very cool. Now then, it's just like so much art. Now, the Stewards of the Valley, the Ranger card expansion, this is going to be giving you this new specialty or class, which is this Spirit Speaker. I do find it funny that, yeah, the background, so this is what you pick your class, you pick your background, a tail spinner with the Ocarina of Time, hint, hint, Zelda here, if you see that there. Very cool. This is almost like a bit of a druid, isn't it, class? I think there's like a card there where you can glide with wings. You can stealth up there with quiet as the night. And it's some kind of got a loot there, so it might have a bit of a bard built into this. It's kind of really cool. And all this good stuff. Range doubler, not interested in you. It basically doubles the card deck here. Because a card might come out and it's an item, and the people at the table might be fighting over the item, but only if you're the same class. So if you're not picked the same class, you're not going to be fighting over cards coming out and all that good stuff. Moments of the path. This is going to make traveling around the world more interesting. They are doubling down on the feature of traveling across the world, as it is open world, and you're going to have lots of events happening, and this just makes it more deeper experience. So that's definitely something you're going to want to get. Right, so basically you've got to come in here a la carte. So I added Ranger Corps Pledge to get the main box. I added Legacy of Ancestors because this is the campaign. I added Stewards of the Valley. This is the new class and item cards. Moments of the Path I added. Core Game Doubler got rid of. Deluxe tokens, I put 2 of these. The dice are kind of... they're not being rolled per se. They are basically to track things and numbers of things. Like it'll go from a 6 to a 5 to a 4, so they're kind of like that. But it does recommend 2 sets if you're playing 2 or 3 player. These Deluxe Ranger tokens, there is like this huge ecological thing going on with this, and the cards are eco-friendly, so you're going to want to sleeve them up because they're going to get damaged. And of course, if you're playing a card game like TCG, you're going to want to sleeve it anyway, aren't you? Just mention on that, people are asking that if you sleeve it all up, will it all fit in the base box? They say no. But if you don't add the Ranger card doubler, there is a very good chance it's all going to fit in that box. So, yeah, hopefully that's how it works out. I do like this new Legacy of the Ancestors box art, though, because in the original Kickstarter, it was just like a brown box. Anyway, you can go for Deluxe Ranger tokens if you want this kind of wood. There is some miniatures down below, which I'll show, and I've actually pledged for the Series 1. We'll go down there. Now, the Valley Trail map looks great. It's a bigger version of the map you get in the game, but it's a fold-up map. And on the back, it has like this amazing guide of traveling to give you potential paths to follow. I really like this, because instead of just going open world, you can kind of go, hey, if we look at here, the suggested path of walking to this place is round here. And I really like this attention to detail. It really wants you to immerse you in this world. So I think for $5, it's a bargain. Much bigger and better quality. World of Earthborne Rangers, I really like this lower book because it's giving you more information of locations and creatures and things like that. So when you come across a creature, you could potentially look it up in the lower book and really get more immersed. Instead of just flicking through all the cards, this lets you kind of rest a little bit and read more about what's happening on the table. This is going to add a little bit more immersion, more art as well, and I think this is fantastic. Now, it's 96 page and it's hardbound, and just cost comparison, Dungeons and Dragons have brought out a book like this and it's a bit more expensive than this, so you're getting it's actually a good value if you compare it to what's on the market. Now, on the first Kickstarter, they produced these sets of minis. The lead-free pewter. They don't want to use plastic. They're very ecological, even though plastic is recyclable. So this gives you enough characters for 4 players. I like it. Now, it does say they're coming from the UK, which puts the price up 100%. And this game is getting printed in Germany, so this is why it's a little pricey, if you think it is pricey. Now, they have these other series minis that if you want them, they don't have any previews of them or anything like that, but it's just to collect these pewter minis. And really, I think these from the first Kickstarter will support the players no problem. So I've actually gone for this series 1, and I'll kind of be happy with them on the pledge. Now, obviously want an area shared playmat, so the mountain looks fantastic in the middle of it. Then they've gone for this ravine, and if you've got 2 of these together, it's going to be 2 ravines, and I don't think this molds into a full double player playmat like the first Kickstarter one did. So we'll just have to see if more playmats do get offered here, and hopefully they will. Alright, so that's where we're up to. Lots of videos, you know, it's a known game now. We know what its problems are. It's mainly errata, and it's mainly traveling around the map can be a little bit tiresome if you're playing solo because your rounds are so much quicker, but that will kind of be addressed if you're playing 2-player. So yeah, I highly recommend it. You can see that I've whacked up my pledge here. I'm just going to be waiting to see if anything gets added, like the new playmat, so I can update my pledge and stuff. But I'm definitely excited for Earthborne Rangers and to get into the campaign. It looks super cool, and I'm highly hyped for this game. I'm really excited and all that good stuff. Leave down in the comments if you're interested in the game or you have it. If you've got anything you want to add to this video, that'd be great. So people go down in the comments and see what people are writing. This is a new format where I've not got an editor. I'm using YouTube to edit my videos, so I'm not adding anything to it. So it's a little bit alfresco. But I think that's what we'll be doing this year, just some quick alfresco videos, and I'll be talking about all the exciting stuff that really boils my blood with fantastic excitement and hype and all that good stuff. So anyway, this is not coming to 2025, so there's a bit of a wait for this second printing. And man, if you was on the first Kickstarter and still waiting for the expansion, that is a long wait. And I do feel sorry for you with all those errata problems, because they might be replacing cards, but they're not replacing the rule book and campaign book, and they're going to make you go to the website to address that. But anyway, if you come in for second printing, you'll have all those problems fixed. So it is much better. Remember, you're getting the great trail art. We've now got that art booklet for lower basis, and we're getting that expansion. We're getting the travel world double down and getting more featured. So looking superb. I think it's going to be best at 2 or 3 players, and because you don't need the extra boxes and stuff, that keeps the cost down a little bit and all that good stuff. And it's got worldwide shipping, which the first Kickstarter didn't have. So muy bueno, Earthborne Games. Anyway, this game is from a super independent game, and I can't see it coming out at retail, or it won't be coming out much, so it does have a little bit of FOMO. But hey, $1 pledge it, and you'll be able to late pledge this right up until the end of the year, probably. Just keep your nose to the ground with Earthborne Rangers. So yeah, there you go. There's my 2 cents on it. Really love it, and I can't wait to get it to the table next year. And yeah, there's some more games that I'm more excited about, which I'll be doing videos of this week, so stay tuned to the channel, all that good stuff. So I've been Lipstickpaddy. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4 in this new 2024 version of doing videos a la carte and al fresco. So you take care, stay safe, and bye-bye for now.